Me and Drizzy back to back, it's getting scary. If you fucking with my eyes, just don't come near me. Put some bins all on your head like Justin Terry. Whoa.
Let's go. The Faison View podcast, man. Episode 264, man. G-Day special. You already know your boy, man. Pisces season has arrived, man. Hey, got the King Cup, man. It's time, man. It's time to get a little turned up, man. You already know, man.
Where'd you get this?
Man, it was a gift about 2 years ago, man. I always kept it, man. You know, good purposes. You see why, man. Hey, Pisces time has arrived, y'all. Pisces time has arrived, man. Let's celebrate everybody's birthday as, you know, March is here, man. March Madness is here, man. The first of the month. Alright. Grateful, man. Grateful for another year more life, man. You already know my brother and co-host here. What it do, brother? What it do, man? The Faison View podcast, man. Make sure y'all tap in. Man. We going live this episode. So let's unpack a lot, man. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We is here. Alright, we is here. Alright, man. The celebration of life, man. Celebration of life. 3-2, man. I'm just grateful for another year. Grateful for another year on the agenda. Alright, questions of the day, man. Are you born with talent or is it learned or developed, man? That's a conversation we're going to get into. You know, we're going to touch bases on Russia versus Ukraine. We're not going to get all into the politics and delve in deep, man. We just want to send condolences and speak our views on it as well. Alright, which era is the golden era, bro? You brought this up, man. The 90s or the 2000s, man? I feel like this generation that's coming up, they have no idea what the 90s really was. We had a little view of it, or the early 2000s. Alright, and lastly, man, would you rather romantic comedy with your enemies? Alright, be in a movie in a romantic comedy with your enemies, or trapped in a horror TV show with your friends, man. Interesting take, interesting topics, man. Hey, let's get to it, man. Celebration of life, man. 3-2, man. My birthday is here, man. It's here. It feels so crazy, bro. Feels so crazy, man. Age 27, y'all. I am here, man. I am here and I have arrived. It's crazy, man. In hindsight, we was just teenagers, bro. We were just in high school, we were just in middle school, elementary school. When you really look at it, man, everything just flew by. And honestly, we was just graduating from college, man, 2017. To in hindsight, that's 5 years ago, bro. That's 5 years ago, man. So I'm just grateful for another year. Grateful, honestly, just blessings, for real. And I don't have this on the itinerary, on the agenda, man. But if you could stop at one age, bro. One age, that's it. That's it. One age. What age would it be?
Probably this one.
Probably this one.
Probably 26.
Probably 26.
I'll probably start because like 25 is when the brain's fully developed.
Correct.
And then 26.
For the man.
Yeah.
For the male.
I think I'm here. You know what I'm saying? If I can freeze one day, I think 26 would be. I think I'm right where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? Because 23 was a bad year for me. I thought it was gonna be the greatest year ever. It was the worst year of my life. So I'm not gonna say 23. And for some reason, that's a trend. Apparently, a lot of people had a bad year at 23. I did not know that was a thing. I couldn't even defend it because I was like, dang, my 23
And then like, it's crazy because in hindsight, bro, when you get to like you said the age we at 26, 27, you understand how still young we were at 21, 22, 23,
it's like
24.
It's completely different. I didn't think it would be that different.
For real, bro. For real. And it's like dang, bro. Like once we get to this age, that's why I said I agree with you. I would stop at like 25, 26 because our brain is start fully developing. Also, I feel like we starting to obtain everything in life. You know what I'm saying? Obtain what really adulting is, bro. Yeah. Like having an understanding of what adulting is. Because even in my early 20s, I wasn't familiar with taxes. I wasn't familiar with how to be financial literate. You know, literacy, like, and having things in place and having things in order. Time management, one of the biggest things, bro. So it's like I feel like we at the perfect age of maturity. And if I had any age to stop at, man, I'll stop right here as well too. But I'll stop right here as well, cause you know when you younger, of course you know we always be like, oh man, I can't wait till I get older. But when older gets here, it's like, you know what I'm saying, it's not all cracked up to be. But I feel like this is just the perfect age, man. This is the perfect age.
Yeah, I'll stop. If I had to stop, I'd stop right here. I'll be fine with this. You know
grateful, man. I'm just grateful for another birthday, man. For real,
sure,
man. More
definitely.
blessings. There's so much going on in the world, bro. Like, and then when we look at this situation with this World War III possibly, you just never know, man. You just don't know how much time you got here, bro. So just cherishing every moment with me, man. For real. Like, honestly. And speaking of birthdays, let's just ask the public, ask everybody, what was their best birthday? What year was your best birthday?
I think the year of my best birthday, I want to go with my 24th. I think that was 2019. 2019,
yep,
yeah, because I was working there. I was working at a child daycare facility, and man, my kids loved me. I was working preschool. I mean, when they found out my birthday was coming up, I mean, they treated it like it was a national holiday. I was bombarded with like so much artwork, and they told their parents, and they made me cupcakes and all this other stuff. I mean, I never felt like so appreciated. Little preschools will do that for you. Preschools will make you feel like a rock star. Man, if you love them and they love you, they will make you do that. So it was that, and having dinner with my friends, and going to California for the first time, and so that was a good year. I'm gonna go with that one. 24 was a good birthday, man.
I've had multiple great birthday celebrations. It's tough for me. I would go the route where he was saying too, because we both had taught preschool. And honestly, that reception you get from kids, man, ain't no better feeling than that. But I don't know. I would say one, if I could single out one birthday was in 2018 when I went to California. The only reason 2018 or 2019 when I went to LA, that's my dream place I want to live and I want to go later in life. But honestly, it was just the networking, like who I met out there, networking purposes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, in hindsight, man, when you really think about it, bro, it's always about who you know, not what you know. You feel me? So I built a lot of contacts, a lot of information, man. Honestly, my birthday every year, like, I try to do something different. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, no matter what birthday it is, I just like to bring my family, bring my peers, bring my people around me, bro. Like, that was one of the times, you know, I really just get to enjoy, just chill, bro. Just chill. So you already know, man. That's probably one of my best birthdays when I went to Cali. But shoot, man. Like I said, we blessed to make it this far, bro. You know what I'm saying? COVID, all these things, that trials and tribulations that we going through, man. Just blessed to be here, for real, man.
Fact, for sure.
So make sure y'all turn up with me. Make sure y'all celebrate with me. You already know, man. It's tomorrow 3/2, man. Episode is dropping tomorrow as well too. You already know, special edition. All right, man. This is the question of the day. Question for you guys on live, man. Question for you guys out there, man. Are you born with talent or is it learned or developed? I feel like you born with talent, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. You ever been like, just anywhere, no matter if it was a sport, a certain thing. I give you like an example. Like, I had one of my friends in the class. He always used to draw. You know, just to have it. Not even saying he loved to do it, because you got people out here that don't, you know, love to do something, but they're amazing at a certain craft. So he was amazing at this craft and graphing and doing these certain things, and he was just like, man, I don't really have a passion for it. I'm just good at it. And you know,
that was Biggie. That's how Biggie felt.
Feel me? And then like me with basketball and football, how I am, I'm very talented. But I can say honestly, one thing I feel like I couldn't go further in, like in football and basketball, even though I'm talented, is just basing it off the fundamentals. Because even though I was good fundamentally, I feel like it was people better than me fundamentally. I just had the talent to go out there and play. So it's different. It's different modes of how, you know, talent is. I feel like talent can be really learned or developed. I feel skill can be learned and developed, but I don't feel like talent can be learned and developed. So I feel like you're born with that.
Talent is definitely something you're born with, because it's supposed to be something that you're just naturally good at. Yeah, like I had a friend like that too in middle school, in elementary school, middle school. His name was Wendell, and he could just draw like off memory, off just nothing. He just started drawing, and it'd be like the illest thing you ever saw. He just drew. And I feel like, you know, it was like this, like for me, like there's this one breakdance move I could do. I never learned it anywhere. No one ever taught it to me. I was just able to do it. I was just able to do it. Like, it's just one move I could do. And I'm sure if I had kept, you know, working at it, I could probably do a whole bunch of other breakdance stuff. But like, with that one move, I knew how to do. So the talent is something you definitely just naturally are good at. Like you said, like Biggie had this talent to rap, but it wasn't really something that, you know, you know, he had a passion to do. You know, he didn't really see himself doing it. Same thing with Jay-Z. Jay knew he had a natural talent to just write rhymes in his head. But he didn't see that as like a way to make money or a job until it was shown to him that he could do that. But he knew he had the ability to just do it. That's why I think rap is amazing. 'Cause I feel like rap is a skill, but I also feel like it's a God-given talent. Like cause there's a school to do everything. Like being a doctor, even learn how to sing. You can learn how to sing, to draw. There's no school to teach. Like there's some things starting to come up, but for real, there's no real school to teach you how to rap. Like it's really something you have, and you can develop over time. But talent, man, I think talent is definitely something you just naturally born with. Whatever it is, it can be the weirdest thing. Like I always wonder how certain people discover they can do certain things. Like how do you discover that you can draw 3 different pictures with 3 pencils tied together on one sheet of paper? You ever saw that?
I know what you're talking about.
I'm like, how do you discover you can do that? Or when people make a portrait of someone out of like glass, like how do you just discover you can do that one day? Like I think talent is just like that. You just wake up one day and you see that you can do something, you can do a certain thing, or your parents sees it early because you're young and you just start doing it. You don't really realize what it is, but they see it. They're like, huh, like okay, and it's their job to try to inspire that and parlay that into something. But yeah, man, like skill can definitely be worked on over time, as well as talent. But I think talent is something you just naturally have.
For sure. And I feel like talent, even though talent is an amazing thing, you still have to have work ethic amongst your talent. You know, we talk about that often, about having a certain level of work ethic, because if you don't have the work ethic, the talent's not going to go anywhere. You know, you ever heard that, like, the saying that, you may be a waste of talent? You know, and that's and a lot of those cases that comes from the lack of work ethic, because you got a lot of talented people out here in the world that know they're talented at something, but either don't want to take the opportunity and shot to go pursue that dream or pursue that talent, or don't have the work ethic to maintain.
That's what happens in the pros. I think because you got so many guys who were top draft picks who were really good, and then they got to the league and were nothing. I think it comes down to work ethic. I think some of those guys didn't step their work ethic up when they got to the next level because they were so good at that bottom level. They didn't step their work ethic up, and that's why. Because when you really think about it, it doesn't make sense for people to be like so immensely good at a D1 school to go to the pros and be nobody,
and then just be nobody.
Like
just be
I really think because you look at a guy like Tom Brady,
I'm about
who wasn't drafted very high,
that's a good
but he worked hard. Like he worked very hard. A guy like Antonio Brown, Cooper Kupp worked very hard. Like so I think it does come down to work ethic.
And one thing I'm gonna ask you too. One talent I feel like I have that is so natural is swimming. Nobody told me how to swim. I just know how to swim, and it's funny because you get the conception of black people don't like water, they don't like to swim or whatever. But just in general, like I love to swim, and it wasn't nothing that I was taught.
I realized I was taught how to swim, so that's
what's
shout out to you.
What's something that you haven't been taught, but you're talented at?
Impressions. I think I get it from my dad though, because when I was younger, my dad used to do Sesame Street characters, and then I naturally was able to do characters like I always did. Scoob and like way man, Scoob and I don't do castle, no wrestles. Like I was always able to naturally just do. I think I got it from my dad. Yeah, like I could just naturally. I used to do Stitch. Blur punch buggy, dog punch back. I used to do all types of characters. So I
That's
think,
dope though.
Yeah, I think that would be something. If I think of one off the top of my head, I think it would be imitation.
And another talent I feel like that you have, because you do it very well, is retaining information. You retain a lot of information, and you can rebuttal it like right then and there. Like even songs, of course, but just information in general. You come to the podcast, do it all the time. Like we could be talking about something, and you'll reflect back on what on what we were talking about with an example. So,
I appreciate that, man. Maybe that's why I'm good at my job.
It's a gift. I'm telling you. So let us know, man. Let us know. Are you born with talent, or is it learned or developed, man? Are you born with it, or is it learned or developed, man? I already know, man. Touchy topic, man. We're not gonna delve all the way into it, man. Honestly, I just want to say prayers and condolences to everybody that is going through this, man. This is a very, very trying time that we in, and it affects everybody. Just because it's in different countries, it affects everybody, because you have a lot of people that are in Ukraine right now that may not be from there,
Yeah.
you know. So it's just certain situations, man. This is just a very touchy topic. I just hope for peace, honestly, in general, because, man, this situation.
I think they're trying to negotiate for it right now.
And,
hopefully.
and one thing that hurt my heart, bro, like, was the fact that as soon, you know, all these things are happening, and just see a report that 18 to 60-year-old man, you know, must not leave. They must protect their soil. You know, so it's like, you
Makes
know,
you appreciate the country you're in.
It makes you really appreciate how grateful you are, because in different countries, it's different situations. It's different things going on that you can't only imagine, because in hindsight, you know, we can't have a part of all this situation, but you know, all we just talking about and focusing on, oh yeah, well, the gas price is rising.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying? But on the other side of things,
if people waking up hearing missiles
it's
fly through
scary,
their
bro.
building, man, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
That's crazy,
So
bro.
definitely prayers to everybody involved, Ukraine and Russia, because you know you got some folks in Russia who,
Who are not down with it.
even though they
They don't have
start
no
war,
control.
they don't. There's some people in Russia who don't want to go to war. They don't want their stuff blown up. They losing their lives too. It definitely made me happy to see, you know, Russian and Ukrainian people in the church praising Jesus together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's really the one thing you should do at a time like this. So it made me feel good to see that. But yeah, prayers to everybody involved. Prayers to the Ukraine,
Sure.
to Russia. We just hope that ends, you know, and with the least amount of bloodshed as it can be.
Hey man, feel for that, man. But so really just prayers to everybody, man, because we don't want to delve too much in it, because it's still a touchy topic, and it's going on right now. You know, something just happened this morning, so we want to respect everybody's really space in that regard. All right, man, this is the combo of all combos right here, man. Which is the golden era, man, to you? All right, so we just having this conversation, man. What is the golden era? The 90s or the 2000s?
So to give backstory, it was a
Yeah,
guy on
give backstory.
TikTok who said the 90s wasn't the golden era. He said the golden era was from 2003 to 2018. You can't have a 15-year golden era. Like, that's ridiculous. It's 10 at the most.
Right.
Now, I am not mad at anyone who thinks the 2000s was the golden era. I'm not mad at that at all. You know, because I will even argue the 2010 class is the best era. I will argue that. I will say this, because I do think the 90s is still in that combo. I will say this. I think, because a lot of our favorite 90s guys, their primes were in the 2000s.
Right, correct.
But I will say this. I think most of the elite rappers, you can think of the top 10 rappers of all time, most of those guys came from the 90s. Even if their primes were in the 2000s, they came from the 90s. Like, Jay came from the 90s. M came from the 90s. Even Wayne's first album, 90s. Even Kanye, first time you heard about 98. Like, all like, when you really think about it, most of the elite rappers came from the 90s, and then probably made.
And then when you get into the style of it, though, when you get into the style, I might edge the 90s because, honestly, everything that was molded in the 90s, like you just said, to your point, ended up transferring to the 2000s. So like the 90s, even the house parties, even how things were structured back then, bro, it was just a different type of aura. I wish I had an experience of living in the 90s just for one day. No, just for one day.
Living in like an adult.
Yeah, in an adult aspect, because just how you look at the aspect of how people dressed, how people were, the aura of certain things, it wasn't so complicated. Social media wasn't, and it wasn't active. Yeah. So it was different ways how you had to communicate, how you did certain things, and then you get into the entertainment realm, and then it's a whole nother. You get to the NWA, you get to the the Tupac, you get to the Biggie saga, you get to a lot of things.
The 90s have like, I think what 3 or 4 of the top 5 great rappers ever.
And do you know I love me some R&B, bro? R&B.
I'll say that. I think your golden era. I think it depends on what you're looking for. You talk about what era had like the best MCs. The 90s for sure. Right. The 90s for sure. You got the Wu-Tang Clan, Redman, Jay-Z, Eminem, Nas, Biggie, Tupac, Big Pun. In fact, like if you talk about MCs, the 90s was chock full of like elite MCs. If you want to talk about like music, I would go 2000s, because again, some of those guys tripled over. A lot of hits were made in 2000s. I can't name that many like elite MCs as much as I could in the 90s and the 2000s. But a lot of great music was made in 2000s.
I agree with that.
If you want to talk about success, I want to go with 2010s. And then like, and part of that is, you know, hip hop.
A part of that is streaming too.
Yeah, and part of that is streaming. And part of that hip hop, you know, progressed over the years. But the reason why I love the 2010 class is like, man, like the music style changed so much so rapidly. You know, I don't know how. I can only think of two '90s artists that really proved they could keep up in that era. That was J and M, because like rapidly the sound was always changing, but those guys continued to adapt. They went from mixtapes to albums and the sound was always changing all the time. And yet those guys like the Meeks and the Wale's and the Drakes and the Coles and the Big Sean, they continued. They adapted to the times as quickly as they came. And they, you know, you're talking about a class that was really successful. I mean, like everybody went #1
Correct.
on the Billboard 200. Everybody had the top 10.
Right.
Like, it's so. If I'm talking about success, I think the 2010 class is probably, and there's more rappers today than ever. But I think that 2010 class was like probably the most successful class out of like, you know, out of all the eras. I think it depends, but like,
and
man,
then there's so many ways to break down the
yeah.
eras. We could talk
But
about.
you can't have no
music,
15
we
era,
could talk
15
about.
year
We could
era.
talk about music. We could talk about TV shows. We could talk about movies. We could talk about the breakdown of dressing. We could talk about.
I was
fashion,
talking about rap.
Everything.
Overall.
No, we can talk about everything. I'm saying
yeah.
you're talking about rap, in
Yeah.
which I'm agreeing with because I agree to those points in rap. But when you talk about, even when we just saying just in golden era of like TV shows, bro, and what we had in cartoons back then versus the 90s, 2000s.
You talking about cartoons?
We talk about different things.
The 90s, 2000s is top tier. I'm not.
It get interesting though, because to your point, what I'm saying is that when you talk about rap, then what you're saying is so much valid. But people can interfere and say it, and then but when you add some criteria to it, if you talking about like fashion, you talk about other things, it's like people can debate you on what the golden era may be.
Yeah, but except the 2000. 2000 was a terrible fashion era.
But 2000, I don't know what was going on in 2000. We was
that was a terrible fashion era.
the
Jerseys and
shirts down
giant jeans.
shirts down to our ankle.
That was a terrible fashion era. I'm sorry.
The Nelly patch,
The Band-Aid.
the Band-Aid,
that was a terrible
Band-Aid.
era of fashion. But yeah,
but
man.
it used to be the funniest thing was the it came back now, but with the jacket with the All-Star with all the with all the teams on it.
Used to put
The
tinfoil in our mouths and act like we had grills.
Oh my god, bro.
Like we was Mike Jones or whatever.
Yeah, nah, the 2000 definitely don't win that win that dress
at all.
that fashion.
But yeah, and another thing that blew me about that guy's take. He said no artist in the 90s, no rap artist in the 90s was close to being the biggest artist in the world. Like, I'm tired of Gen Z trying to rewrite the history of Sean Carter. Like,
oh, no,
like what? Even Eminem, like, he said close.
But
like,
he wasn't the biggest.
He said no one was close to being the biggest artist in the world.
But he wasn't close.
You can even say Tupac was close to being the biggest artist in the world.
He was.
So was Jay, and so was M. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I wouldn't even put Jay and M in that conversation. Though.
They were 100% from the 90s close to being the biggest artists in the world.
Right. I get what you're saying too, but we can't X out. There's so many people we Xing out. You can't X out Ice Cube. You can't.
You're right. That was my point. Like, he's bugging. He said no one from the 90s was close to being this. What are you talking about? There are plenty of guys. Like, I can show you a video of Jessica Simpson fanning out Jay-Z. Like, when she met Jay-Z, she just lost her mind. Like you realize how big you gotta be for like the white pop stars to come up to you and be fanning out over your music.
Oh, DMX.
DMX was another guy. There's so many artists from the 90s who were definitely close, if not the biggest artist in the world at the height of their career. So that I didn't like that.
I'm saying other people because I love Jay-Z, but he's a Jay-Z stan, so I got revert to other things.
Yeah, I get
talkers.
I get it, but he's adding to my point. There were 100% people that were close. Like, so I ain't like that. But you can't have no 15-year era.
You can't even think about that because the person that made that TikTok, bro, probably because the fact that they say 03 from 18, they might have been born in 2003.
That's not how this works. Man. That's a weird time.
How old is 2003?
Oh, I got some 2003 babies in my
yeah,
it's like
me too. That's why I asked. It's like
2000.
18.
So 17 years is like 2020. 18. So add 2 more years. They gotta be like 19 years old.
18, 19. So it's a different mindset, bro.
Yeah, man. But
different mindset. You know,
out.
Their goats and their legends and their people that they look up to is gonna be totally different from ours.
Man. But you gotta at least do your due diligence, like your research.
Yeah, you can't
say stuff like that. Like, come on,
blasphemy. So y'all let us know which is the golden era. All right. 90s or 2000s, man. 90s or 2000s. You can add any criteria you want.
Yeah, man. It could be rap, fashion,
90s
shows,
or 2000s.
cartoons.
For real, for real.
That cartoon era was crazy.
Yeah,
Cartoon Network was insane. I don't care.
2000s cartoons
2000s
was wild.
Disney Channel was insane.
That might have been
Nickelodeon was
if
insane.
you talking about that.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
It's not a competition.
So, man, lastly, man, would you rather, when we're talking in the essence of movies first, all right? So, romantic comedy with your enemies, all right? Or trapped in a horror TV show with your friends.
I'm going rom-com with my enemies.
You going rom-com with your enemies?
Yes. I don't have that many enemies for one. Two, I get romance. And three, I get a laugh. If I'm with my friends, we're going to be scared all the time. And I got to watch some of y'all die. Nah.
That's going to make for good television.
I hear you.
I got trapped in a horror TV show with my friends.
I hear you, but listen, I get romance and laughter.
Cause I'm gonna tell you something right now. When you talking about funny and comedy, one of the funniest moments and things. It's not saying it's like I'm talking about in a joking situation. Is seeing your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like in a situation like that, a horror, we over here dipping, running. That would be funny. It's not going to be funny in the moment, probably, but it'd be funny to freaking laugh at. Cause, oh man, I remember one time. Oh my god, one time I went to a haunted house, bro. My friends, I ain't never go again. Never go again. Cause it was funny, but I was about to throw 1,800 jabs. Cause it was scary, spooky, bro. Spooky. And I wasn't here. I went to one in Boston, bro.
Oh, word?
I went to one in Massachusetts.
I never went to one
so that was a little different. Not saying it just was different. It was a hayride and stuff. It was like, nah. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not built for the enemies, man. If my movie's like Hitch, I'll be happy. That's my favorite movie.
Oh, that's one of your favorite. Oh, your favorite movie?
Yeah, Hitch.
And honestly, before we even move this conversation, we got to go back to that. We got to go back to that conversation, man. That Will Smith, Jamie Foxx, man. We got to go back to that one. We got
shout out to Will Smith, man.
Shout out to both of them.
He just won his first SAG.
Shout out to both of them.
He won the NAACP Image Award. He just won his first SAG Award the other night. You know what I'm saying? Denzel was mad happy for him.
Yep,
and he's nominated for the Oscar. I think this is Will's year for the Oscar. Even Denzel told me, this is your year. I think this is Will's year for the Oscar, man. For that to be his first SAG, and it's the same people that he's nominated against in that award for the Oscar. I think this is Will's year, man.
King Richard was tough.
Yeah.
And we've been arguing the debate. We're gonna have to review that Usher versus Chris Brown, because we're gonna have to review that one. Cause I'm be honest with you. Now I look back on it, I got Usher winning, but it ain't sure.
Yeah, CB
is one of the goats too.
CB is CB, man.
Shoot,
CB's still out here pulling out top 10 records.
We gonna have it.
Exactly. Usher is that dude for sure.
He is, but shoot, we gonna see, man.
But yeah, man, I'm going rom-com enemies.
And I'm going trapped in a horror TV show with the friends, man. You already know, man. Would you rather, man? Would you rather? Make sure you answer that. Comment below, man. Man, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, man. Show love, bruh. Show love. 3-2, man. The G-Day is here, man. Much love, man. We coming with more content, more greatness, man. Hey, all I can say is just we blessed, man. We blessed to be here, man. Much love, y'all.